Hello, hello, my crafty friends. Today we are going to make a pair of pants from a tablecloth, as I have promised. Now here I have, actually this is 2 tablecloths that I had sewn together. They used to be the canopy for my bed, but as I was lying in bed, I was looking up at them and saying, at the canopy and saying, you know what? I'm going to turn those into pants because I have sheets that I could use as my canopy. Plenty of sheets. And so I decided to change it out. So anyway, without further ado, let's figure this out. Now the first thing we're going to need to do is figure out our pants pattern. Now to do the crotch in the pants, it's really just a scoop because pant legs are nothing but 2 sleeves. And if you think about it, you've got this, well, you know what? Let me draw this for you. All you really need for your pants pattern is something that looks like this. This is the shape that we're going for, okay? And to get this crotch curve, which is really the most important part, I want you to find a pair of pants, and I want you to lay them down and trace around it just like you did this. Now, I'm going to use a pair of pants that I've already made, but you're just going to find a pair of pants that fits you well through the crotch and the rise and through the hip and all of that. Now we're going to make these generous because that's the design. It's a big wide-legged palazzo pant, and it's loose and flowy and comfortable, and that's how we're going to make it. We're not making leggings. I mean, you can use leggings as your pattern. That's perfectly fine. But remember that you are going to be adding width along here. Okay, you're going to be coming out this way more. But the crotch curve can essentially be the same. It's totally fine. And remember, we're going to add some length up here for our waist because we want to be able to fold this part down for our waistline. And you're going to make sure that you've got enough length for a hem or embellishment or whatever. But what we're going to do today is make a pair of pants that are, well, they're going to be sort of like this, but where I'm going to put a lace band, and then I'm going to have a ruffle. So that's my general idea. Up here, this is going to fold down, and that's going to be where our elastic is. So we got a nice, loose, flowy pair of pants. Okay, well, let me get out a pair of pants so I can show you exactly what I'm talking about. And let me determine what part of this I want to use, because I don't need to use this whole thing. This is pretty wide the way I had it. So, okay, now we want to fold this so we've got our desired width going on. And, you know, like I said, this is going to be a really wide-legged pair of pants. All right, so here's this, and okay, there's the fold. So, question, pockets or no pockets? I personally like pockets. I like to know that I've got the option to put my hands in my pockets when I don't know what else to do with my hands. And it's nice to be able to carry things. All right, so now I've got this straightened out nicely. To make things easier, well, you know what? We're going to do a check, and we're going to measure and make sure that there's enough room. Now this is my crotch curve. Now I have cut this from a pillowcase because I made some pillowcase pants, and I'm going to be showing you that in another video too. Made some pillowcase bloomers, and we're just going to cut. I think I want it to be all this, and then this other tablecloth will be for another project because it's got a very different texture. This other tablecloth is cotton for sure, and this is either, I think it's, like I said, it's either linen or ramie. Now ramie is it's a natural fiber. I should need to look it up and find out exactly what ramie is so I know what I'm talking about. But we've all seen it on tags, and it does sort of have a silky feel. And I'm thinking maybe that's what this is. Okay, now I'm got that other half cut off and I'm all prepared. Now I want to just go ahead and open it. You know what? Good gravy. Ain't nobody got time for that. Let's just open up this side seam like so. Okay, that feels better. Now, I have a crotch curve, like I said, that I cut out from a pair for my bloomers. And I find this is pretty comfortable. And, excuse me, that works for me. And that's what I've been doing on all my pants. And it's comfy and it's fine. Now here we have 44. And this is, that's actually fine. I was nervous for a minute thinking, oh, maybe that's too small. But that's going to be just about right. So now I'm going to get my ruler out because I'd like to even up this edge right here. I'd like this edge to be straight. I'm just going to cut it off. All right. Because you know what? These pants don't always have to be for me. Honestly, they're never really for me. They're always for someone else. And right down here where I've got these holes where my staples were, I'm going to trim that off, but I'm looking for the highest hole and it ends right there. So we're just going to whack it off. Alrighty. Okay, so now we're just going to go ahead and cut the crotch. Now you will notice that I don't have a front and back on these pants. I don't. We could get technical and we can do it that way, but we don't have to. Now I have a feeling these are going to be little because of what I just did. They are. For me, they're not. These aren't going to fit me. They don't have to fit me. Hey, but you know what we can do? We can add a strip down the side. And I honestly think that's what I'd like to do because I do want these to fit me. Who am I fooling? Okay, so if I've got, we're going to do our math. It's math time. If I have 11 inches here, well, actually, that gives me 44 inches. Excuse me. But we're taking out a 1/4 inch here, and we're taking out a 1/4 inch here because I like a 1/4 inch seam allowance. That's an inch, and that's an inch, and that takes me down to 40. 44. So that's 2 inches. Takes me down to 42, which is pushing it for me. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to cut a strip, and I'm going to make them a little bit wider. What are we at here? I have 29 inches. Okay, we need two 29-inch strips. And we might as well do it from here. And let's be generous, shall we? Why not be generous? Well, I suppose we don't have to be ridiculous. Oh, but look at there. See, now I'm seeing a stain. So I will be a tad generous. I don't want that spot on there. Let's use the ruler. Let's be fancy because we can. She's a bit shifty. Okay, that's better. You and you. And we want this to be at the 29-inch mark. No, they were 29, right? Criminally. I have a hole there. You'll see. It'll work. I promise. All right. I'm going to cut this in half so that I've got 2 pieces. So, this is going to goof up the whole pocket of the thing because I'm adding this extra strip. If we add that extra strip on, that messes up the pocket placement. However, if we are careful about where we put the pockets, and maybe we have the pockets more toward the front. Ah, I like that. So the pockets will be at the front. So then we definitely will have a front and a back to these pants. Okay. All right. So now we're just going to take, we've got 4 pieces here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to decide that, okay, these 2 pieces shall be my front. And so that they have to have the pocket attached to them. And these are the back. So these need the extra strip. So I'm going to go and sew that after I change my thread. I see the thread in the serger is not the right color. And I do want to serge these. Just because. And you know what? I got to decide which is going to be my right side, which is going to be my wrong side. This is silkier and a little fancier, I think. But I really like the subtle design on this side. So I think this is going to be my right side, but it doesn't look like it when it's down. Let me see. Should we do the silky side out? Got to make a decision, and this decision is up to you too. You have to decide. Do you want the silky side out of the design, or do you want it to be, I want the silky on the inside next to my skin. Yeah. Okay. We have decided. So I've got this. I'm going to sew a strip to this one and a strip to this one, and we're going to make sure we're very mindful of right sides and wrong sides. Right sides together. You're going to sew the strip onto the side of the pants. That's if you messed up like me. But if you didn't, then you're good to go. The next thing we're going to do is cut our pockets. And if you watched my pinafore video, you know how I like to cut my pockets. So here I'm going to be, I lay my hand down. And I promise I won't cut myself. And you can do this more carefully by drawing your pocket out. But boom! There we go. That's our pocket shape. Now we need to attach the pockets. Shall we? Yes, we shall. We're going to attach the pockets and sew the side seams. And then we're going to start embellishing. And that's the fun part. Okay. Now, as you see, I've got a little bit of missing there. And I want to just see, are these really the same length? Or is one much shorter than the other? Okay, this one is actually too long. I'm going to even them up once I get the pockets in. Because you know what? When you're upcycling, you just got to sort of play it by ear. You're flying by the seat of your pants. And when I put my hand in this pocket, I want to feel the silkiness. So we are actually going to go, yep, and that'll flip in. Okay, so pocket placement. We want to come down. Think about where you like your pocket. If your waist is right here, you'd like your pocket to start about, that far? How far is that? 4 inches from where your waist starts, because then it's a comfortable length, at least on me, to put your hand in. And we're going to reserve 1.5 inches for the waistband. So there's our 1.5 inches, and we're going to come down 4 inches. And that's where the pocket's going to go. I'm actually going to use the other pocket because I want the silky side. So the part that you feel is going to be this part. It's going to be, we'll consider that the right side, even though it's actually the wrong side of the material. Okay, there's our 4 inches. And you see I did not change my serger thread. Because it doesn't matter. It's on the inside. I'm never going to put it on the outside. no one's ever going to see it. So I do this the easy way by just matching it up. But by all means, feel free to take out your tape measure and measure it. All right, there's one, there's two. And we buried our pockets. Here we go. Okay, that's the right side of the pant. Wrong side goes here. And that bad boy's right in the right spot. Okay, pin and pin. And then the last piece is where? It's right there. Okay, we're going to do the same thing. Now the thing about these tablecloths is they are very wiggly. This fabric wants to do what it wants. It's really got a mind of its own. So you have to keep an eye on it. All right, so now I'm going to go to the machine. We're going to sew the pockets. I will show you one, and then you're on your own for the rest. Okay, here we are at the machine. And we are going to sew the pocket. Again, I like to use the presser foot, and I'm going from one raw edge up to the next raw edge. Get my stitch on 3.5. Find that's sufficient. Stitch this right quick. Get those pins out of the way. See, that crept up a little bit as I sewed it, but I think it's going to be okay. And now we're going to lay this open, and we're going to sew on the seam side. We want the seams facing toward the pocket. Then you're going to do your understitching. And this helps keep the pocket where it ought to be. And as you can see, boy, that is so wiggly. It's wiggly and squiggly, but it turned out lovely. Okay, so do that on your other 3 pieces. Okay, so I've got all my pockets sewn in. Now what we're going to do is sew up the side seams. Now what you want is a front and a back. So there's a front, and here's the corresponding back, because you see they will be right sides together, and we've got the clean seam, the clean seam. The clean seams are going together like this. So sew up your side seam going around your pocket, and how you pin them is a bit important. So you're going to put a pin right at the top of the pocket where it meets the seam. Then you're going to put a pin at the bottom, and you're just going to pull this a little bit and make sure that it's all lined up properly and it's down as far as it needs to go. So we're going to stick a pin there, and then you want to take your hand and you want to decide, okay, where do I want the lip of the pocket to be? What is a comfortable space for my hand to go in? And so I'm thinking I'll put the lip of the pocket right here so that I've got plenty of room to put my hand in. And then I'm also going to pin these pieces together because they tend to like to get wonky. I'm just popping a couple of pins in just to keep that the way it is. And now we're going to sew up the side seam. Again, I'm just using my presser foot as my seam guide. You can make bigger seam allowances if you want to, but I find as a general rule it's just not necessary. Okay, see, I pivoted right there. I got to where the pocket begins. I pivot and I go all the way around this pocket curve. Every now and then we got to stop and adjust. Make sure that we are all together now and we're not having any holidays, because woo, that's a mighty tiny seam allowance. So I will go back and I will come in a little bit further on there. This, like I said, is the fabric, man. This fabric just wants to do what it wants to do. So now here we're at the bottom of the pocket. We're going to swoop up to this top pin. I'm taking the bottom pin out. We're going to swoop up and come to where that pin is, and we're going to stop. We're going to pivot, take that pin out. We're going to make sure everybody is lined up nicely. Are those seams together? Yep, they are. And we're just going to go right down the line. And you're going to go all the way down the line, sewing this pant leg together. Now here I am. You know what I might do? I think I'm going to just chop this off and even it all up with the rest of it, because I got this gap here, and I'm just going to make the pants all this length. That would make them what, like maybe 27? Which is long enough. I want it for 39. 27, that gives me a 12-inch ruffle. That's fine and dandy. Okay, I'm going to do the other leg and I'll be back. All right, we've got our side seams sewn up. And I have serged mine. You do what you want to do, boo. It's entirely up to you. You can embellish them any way you want. As you can see, I've got a little discrepancy here, and it's bothering me. So I'm going to trim this off so that it's even. And I'm going to lay the other leg down because I want to see just how far off this one is. And we're just going to make sure that they are the same so that it's easier when everything is done. I'm just going to match up the crotch. My crotch bits are the same. Okay, we've got a bit of a discrepancy going on here. So, again, I'm very unscientific. I'm just going to eyeball it. I'm just going to trim it off. If it bothers you to do something like this, and maybe yours is going to be fine and dandy. I don't know. Like I said, this fabric is wigglier than a fish on the line. But okay, got that out of the way. Let's have some fun. Now we're going to embellish. This is the best part. Okay, I've got a whole pile of lace bits, bric-a-brac, this and that. And the last pair that I did, I was symmetrical, which is ridiculous. Don't try to aim for symmetry. We want this to be random and fun. That's the whole name of the game. So, let me see. I've got this pretty bit. And my legs are going to be different. I'm not even going to try to make things the same because I made the mistake of doing that last time. And to be perfectly honest, I was sorry I did. Okay, I like this little doily right here. I like a little bit of a focal point, but I do want it centered. So we're going to move it over like this. But that doesn't look centered to me. Why are you worried about it, Charlotte? I don't know. Oh. Stop agonizing and make sure it's right side up. There we go. This is the right side. Okay. All right. I like you here. Go in, pin. Well, see, now this is looking like the wrong side. I don't know. Well, sugar cookies. Oh, you know what it is? That's a little hole. That's okay, though. Number one, we are going for a shabby chic look. Number two, when I sew this on, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to go blah, 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 zigzag stitch it a bit so that the hole doesn't go any further. Okay, so the thing about doing this part is You don't want to do too much. You don't want to pin on too much at once. You just want to pin on a piece, take it in your machine, sew it, come back, pin on some more pieces. That's just the process. I'll be back. Okay, we got one piece on, 40 to go. Well, as many as we want. As many as we want. Oh, I got this kitty cat piece. Oh, you know what? We're going to cut the kitty cats in half. You see that? See the little kitty cat head? Meow. Oh, I love the kitties. This is actually a curtain that I had hanging at my front door. I think I'm going to put the kitty cats here. Oh, you know what? Ah, do we really want to get crazy like that? Oh, you know what? Kitties should be facing this way. Am I getting too symmetrical? Feeling kind of symmetrical here. All right. You can go there. But we're going to put something else over here. Okay. Pin on your pieces. This is pretty rudimentary. You know what to do. Just pick your lace pieces. It can be anything you want. You could get fun and do some appliques. I mean, all you're doing right here is just decorating your pants. So we're going to skip this part because this video is already starting to get long. And we are just going to embellish away. And then when your pants are all embellished, and mine are too, we'll come back and we'll figure out how to do the ruffle. Alrighty, I'm back. I have embellished both legs. This is one, and here's the other. And I think that's plenty. I don't want to go too crazy. There's no point in going super crazy with your embellishment because these pants are so wide and they're going to fall in folds and you won't really see it all. But you just want a little flash as you walk down the street. So now I've got this lace. This lace is 1 inch wide. And I'm going to attach this along the bottom here. Now before I attach the lace, I'm going to come down through with a serger and I'm going to clean up this raw edge. Then I will attach this lace. And then when I come back, we're going to put the ruffle on. So let's do this to both legs, okay? Put your lace on here, but clean up your edge before you do. Use your pinking shears, your serger, whatever you got. Okay, so now I've got the lace on my pants. I've lined them up to make sure they're the same length, and they are. And let's measure them because we have done some surgery on them. And let's see where we're at. Because I was hoping for a finished length of 38. And come down 1.5. Okay, that gives me room for an elastic casing. So now I'm at 26. And if I want them to be 38, I have to add on 12 inches. Okay, 12 inches. So we need a 12-inch ruffle. I have this bit of tablecloth left over from the last project I did. And let me see, this piece is 34. This is 68 inches because I've got it doubled over. And if my pant leg is 38 inches, I just say there was. Okay, this is 68 and that's 38. I think that's enough of a ruffle. We don't want it to be super crazy. That's actually about 1.5 inches. So, okay, that's good. That's about right. So I'm going to take this, and again, you know, I am just not scientific. This is so wrinkled, I'm going to go press it. I got to be a little scientific. Okay, now I'm back. Now what I want is a 12-inch ruffle, but I do want to leave some room for a hem. Do I want to just hem this, or do I want to put a little bit of lace along the bottom of it? honestly, I think I'd like to put a little bit of trim along the bottom of it. So I will be serging the bottom of this. Okay, we're just going to do the 12 inches because whatever trim I put down is going to be probably like a little 1/4 inch trim or something. So I'm going to start by cutting this bit to get myself 2 pieces. We're going to come up even with the markings on the mat. Okay, here we go. Okay, that's gone. Now we're going to come up 12 inches. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 inches. Woo! Look at that. That's going to be off a bit. That's really going to bother me. So you know what we're going to do? Ha! That's what I get for folding it that way. We're going to go 11 inches. Because 11 inches is going to give us exactly 11 inches. All right. Okay, so now I got an 11-inch ruffle. But I'm adaptable. I am nothing if not adaptable. So now what we're going to do is I want to figure out this edge first. So I'm going to serge these and I'm going to pop on a little trim, and then we're going to go over to the sewing machine and we're going to sew these ruffles in. Okay, I'm back. I have my 2 ruffle pieces serged on both sides, both edges, because let's keep it clean. I'm going to. Alrighty, so in order to do this, we're going to pin this ruffle on, and we're going to be pinch pleating this at the machine instead of doing a gathering stitch. So I'm going to pin it on right at the ends, at one end, and here we got the other end. Okay, so there's the center. Did you see that? Unruly pin. How dare you? Don't you want to do your job? Don't you want to be a part of this process? Ugh. Little scofflaw. Okay. So, again, I am not scientific, my friends. I pick it up. I look at it. Are we in the center? We're in the center. Okay, and that goes to the center right here. Stick a pin here. And I like to, I do this. I'm like, okay, I've got the same amount here, same amount there. That's approximately in the middle. Stick a pin in it. And then we're going to do it again. And I have to do it flat like this. Ouch. Because otherwise there's no place to put the doggone pin. I'm going to eyeball it. See, yep, there she be. I mean, because honestly, friends, as long as you are approximately there, that's all that matters. These ruffles are so full that nobody's going to notice. And if somebody comes up to you and says, oh, your pleats aren't even, you have my permission to kick them in the shins. Nobody's going to notice. They're just going to say, oh my gosh, your pants are fabulous. Because I'll tell you what, kids, I wore my ruffled jeans to the grocery store yesterday, and I had 4 people stop me and say, oh my gosh, I love your jeans. All right, so now we're going to just pinch pleat. And when I say pinch pleat, you're going to sew a little bit. You're going to pinch it. Sew that down, pinch it, sew that down, and you're just going to keep on going. Do you want to see me do it at the sewing? Okay, come on, let's go do this together. Okay, here we go. I'm going to do this with a zigzag stitch, just because. I'm going to be sure that I catch everything this way, and it catches onto the lace, because with the lace and the whatnot and this and that, I just want to be sure I'm catching it all. Now we just make little pleats. As we go. Take out your pin. And you're just going to keep on doing that all the way down. Alrighty, so now I've got some lace trim sewn on the bottom. I've got my ruffle on, and now we're going to sew up that center seam. We got to do the crotch seam, and we got to do the legs. I like to do my legs first. I like to do the inseam, and then I'll come back and do the crotch seam. So just match it up, sew up your legs, and you know how to do that. Alrighty, so I've got the inside seam, the inseam of my pants sewn, and now we're going to match up the crotch seam. Get rid of this. And make sure you rectify your seam. Either serge it or pink it or something like that. Whatever makes you happy. You can zigzag it too. So now we're just going to take our crotch seam. We're meeting the seams together. We're going to lay one seam to one side and one to the other. Like so. One's going one way, one's going the other way. And now you're just going to match it all up. Pin it and sew it. Sew it from front waist to back waist to front waist, whichever it works out to be. Okay, we're going to sew that. We'll be right back. Okay, I've got a piece of 1-inch elastic, and I've measured it around my waist, leaving some room for overlap. And we're just going to join it together. Like so. That'll do it. Okay. Now instead of doing a waistband casing, waistline casing, I hate using a casing. I'm going to create a casing as I go. And you might think I'm crazy, but I like to do it this way. This way it saves a step. I'm all about quick sewing and instant gratification. Okay, so I have folded it over just enough to go over the elastic. So I'm not hitting the elastic. It's almost to the line of the serger stitching. And we're going to stitch. Did you see I've just put my elastic in my little casing here? And we're going to try to maintain that seam allowance. I'm stitching right on the center stitching of my serger stitch, and I did it with a 4-thread serger. 3 would have been sufficient for a project like this, but I didn't feel like changing the thread. I didn't feel like taking the needle out and all that business. As we come along here, we're going to fairly match up our seams, but this fabric wants to do things. You will see it likes to be a bit wonky. You got to be patient with it, and you also have to show it who's boss. We're not taking any nonsense from this stuff. We're just going to do it. So I'm just going to keep going round. And until I get to where, see, this is looking like, oh no, you made a mistake. Look at that. No, watch this. Get that elastic up and out of the way. Woohoo! And here we go. Oh, that seam flipped up, but you know what? It doesn't matter. We don't have to be ultra precise with this stuff. We just got to make it work. I'm a huge fan of Project Runway, especially the Tim Gunn era. And I loved how he always told people to make it work. And honey, that's what we're doing. We're going to make it work. And I'm only folding over about 1.25 inches here because I thought I was going to do 1.5 inches, but I held the pants up and they looked like they were going to be a little on the short side. So I'm really trying to go for a full length pant. I mean, I don't want to trip on them or anything, but I do want it long enough, and I'll be wearing these with sandals. I say I'll be wearing these. I'll probably sell them at one of my shows. It's usually how it goes. But I do like to make things that I like so that if it doesn't sell, I have some lovely things to add to my wardrobe. Look at this! Here we are. We're at the end. It's so exciting. And we didn't have to worry about trying to fiddle with getting elastic through a casing, losing it, because you know, that's how it happens sometimes. And see, I got this little extra. Oh, you know what we're going to do? We're just going to create a little tuck because it's okay. It's all right. Just like Bob Ross says, it's just a happy mistake. And you know what? We just made ourselves a pair of pants. Now, to totally finish these off, I'm going to dye these so the colors are cohesive and all that jazz. But I don't know about you, but I want to see what these things look like on. So I'm going to try them on. All right, here I am, the finished pants. And I've styled it with a little lace top that I whipped up the other day from Curtains. Maybe we'll do a tutorial on that one if you want to see it. Anyway, here are the pants. I dyed them with Rit Dye More in sandstone, and I really like the color. I think it's a little deeper than the tea dye would have been, and I'm very, very pleased. And I'm so pleased with the way they feel. They feel so good. I really hope you're going to make yourself a pair of these pants sometimes. Oh my gosh. So anyway, that's it for today's tutorial. I thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you join me again for the next one. I'm not exactly sure what it's going to be. I think it's going to be ruffled pantaloons. Anyway, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and all those good things. Just feel free to share this video with somebody who you know loves to sew and likes to watch the process. And please join me on School. The School app is just the very best thing that I have come across in a long time. It's a great community of really supportive people who just love to upcycle and love to share their ideas with others. The app link is in my description. Hit that link and please join us there. We do so many cool things. I'm Traci Myers. She's a part of School. She's one of the members, and you get to hang out with her every now and then. And that's really cool because she has inspired so many of us to make so many beautiful things. She inspired me to make these pants. I mean, I got the original idea from her, and then I just took it my own way. So please join us there on School, and we're going to have some fun. I'll see you again at the next tutorial. Don't forget, I love you so much.